Johan Cruyff grew up in a narrow street in Amsterdam, in the shadow of Ajax's old De Meer Stadium. Football was not something he discovered. It was something that surrounded him, like the air. His father ran a small greengrocer's shop, and young Johan spent his days kicking a ball against brick walls, learning angles before he knew the word. When his father died suddenly, Johan was only 12. Football became more than a game then. It became structure, escape, purpose. Ajax was no longer just a club nearby. It was a second home. Cruyff joined Ajax's youth system at a time when Dutch football was restless and searching for a new identity. He was thin, almost fragile, and some doubted whether his body would ever match his brain. But his mind worked faster than anyone else's. He didn't just see the ball, he saw space. He didn't just run, he calculated. At 17, he made his first team debut. By 19, Ajax revolved around him. What made Cruyff different was not just talent, but interpretation. He questioned everything: positions, instructions, traditions. Why should a winger stay wide if space existed elsewhere? Why should defenders only defend? On the pitch, he spoke constantly, directing teammates like a conductor shaping music in real time. This was the beginning of what the world would later call total football, but to Cruyff, it was simply logical football. If you understand space, you control the game. Ajax dominated Europe in the early 1970s. 3 consecutive European Cups followed, and Cruyff became the face of a footballing revolution. He won the Ballon d'Or 3 times, yet individual awards never interested him as much as ideas. He believed football should be beautiful, intelligent, and brave. Winning without style, to him, was a failure of imagination. In 1974, Cruyff carried those ideas to the World Cup. The Netherlands did not just arrive to compete. They arrived to challenge the world's understanding of football. The team moved as one organism, pressing, rotating, confusing opponents who were used to rigid systems. Cruyff wore the captain's armband and the famous number 14, a number that became a symbol rather than a shirt. The final against West Germany was cruel in its simplicity. The Netherlands scored before a German player touched the ball. For a moment, it felt inevitable, as if football itself had chosen Cruyff's vision. But finals are not about ideas alone. Germany equalized, then took the lead, and the match ended with the Dutch watching history slip away. Cruyff never played in another World Cup. That loss stayed with him, not as regret, but as proof that beauty does not guarantee reward. His move to Barcelona as a player changed Spanish football forever. Barcelona was a club weighed down by political and emotional pressure, living in the shadow of Real Madrid. Cruyff gave them identity. He led them to a league title and humiliated Madrid 5-0 at the Bernabeu, a match still spoken of in Catalonia with reverence. More than goals, he gave Barcelona belief. After retiring, Cruyff did not drift away from football. He returned as a coach, first at Ajax, then at Barcelona, and this was where his influence became permanent. As a manager, he was demanding, stubborn, and visionary. He trusted youth, valued technique over physique, and insisted that players understand why they did things, not just how. At Barcelona, he built the dream team. For consecutive league titles followed, and in 1992, the club won its first European Cup. But trophies were only part of the legacy. Cruyff redesigned the club from the inside. Training methods, youth development, playing philosophy. He planted ideas that would later shape players like Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi, and coaches like Pep Guardiola. Even when he left, his shadow remained. Cruyff was never easy. He argued with presidents, journalists, teammates, and football authorities. He believed compromise diluted ideas. If you play defensively, he once said, you don't deserve to win. To some, he was arrogant. To others, he was honest in a world that preferred comfort over truth. In his later years, Cruyff became a philosopher of football. His quotes spread beyond the sport. Simple sentences that carried deep logic. He spoke about decision-making, about simplicity being the hardest thing to achieve, about intelligence over strength. Football, to him, was a mirror of life. If you think faster, you live better. When Johan Cruyff died in 2016, the football world paused. Stadiums fell silent. Players and coaches spoke his words as if quoting scripture. But Cruyff's true monument is not statues or tributes. It is every team that values possession with purpose, every child taught to think before kicking, Every coach who believes that ideas can outlast results. Cruyff once said that quality must be the responsibility of everyone. He lived that belief. As a boy from Amsterdam, as a player who redefined space, and as a thinker who reshaped football forever. Long after goals fade and trophies gather dust, his ideas keep moving, just like the game he loved, fluid, intelligent, and alive.